Wow, we have a crazy set of NFL games in week 17. We have some playoff matchups, we have some sleepers, and we have some games where everyone knows who's gonna win. And right now, if you look at the playoff picture, I'll start with the NFC here. We got the number one seed, Green Bay Packers, are 12-3. Number two seed, New Orleans Saints, are 11-4. Number three seed, Seattle Seahawks, are tied with the Saints, also at 11-4. Number four, Washington, the Washington football team, division leader at 6-9. Number five, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10-5. Number six, the LA Rams at 9-6. And right now, number seven, the Chicago Bears at 8-7. And on the outside looking in, number 8, Arizona, also at 8-7, but Chicago has the tiebreaker. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys, tied with Washington at 6-9 for the division. Winner gets in. If Dallas wins and Washington loses, Dallas gets in. If not, Washington gets in all likelihood. And wow, we have a great set of games. I'll start with the NFC. So I'll go from the top down. First, we got Green Bay at Chicago. That'll be a good game. But to me, Chicago hasn't proven enough to me, and Mitchell Trubisky hasn't proven enough to me that they're a reformed offense. And they played 4 very bad defenses in Houston, Minnesota, Jacksonville, and another team that I can't remember. And I think that Green Bay is going to blow them out of the water. The Green Bay has something to play for. The Packers really want that first seed in the NFC, so the road to the Super Bowl runs through Lambeau, where it's going to be cold and snowy, and I think Aaron Rodgers will love that, and I think they need it. So I think Green Bay will have something to win for, and they will beat the Bears, and they'll retain their number 1 seed. I think that New Orleans is going to beat Carolina. I think that Seattle is going to beat San Francisco. I think that for the number 4 seed, Washington against Philadelphia, it is a tough game. I'm not happy that it's on Sunday Night Football. I would have liked another game, but in general, I think although Jalen Hurts and this Philadelphia Eagles offense has looked transformed and much more dynamic, I think that Washington will get it done. They have something on the line, and I think their defense will step up. In these games that they won, their defense has played really well, and I think that the Washington defense led by Chase Young, Ryan Kerrigan, and those guys, they're going to step up and they're going to give Washington the win. To me, it doesn't matter who starts, Alex Smith or Taylor Heineke, either of those players, I think will do enough to get the job done. I think if Alex Smith is in, Washington will have a much easier time winning. I think we'll be relatively close, but I think Washington will pull it out, which means that to me, Dallas will not get there. I think Dallas will beat the Giants, but they'll be tied with the Washington football team, and Washington has the tiebreaker, so they'll get in. And next, Tampa Bay against the Falcons. Tampa Bay wants to keep that number 5 seed and make sure that they can play the NFC East division winner, which whoever it is, they'll obliterate them, but they want to play one of those NFC East teams, so I think they'll win. And obviously the huge game, LA versus Arizona, 6 versus 8. Winner is in, loser may be out. And I think it's going to be a really tough game. I mean, all signs point to Arizona. They have a healthy quarterback. They have healthy players. They're not really on a roll, but neither is LA. And I think all those signs point to Arizona. I got to go with the Rams, man. Their defense is something else. They have a great, great defense led by Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and just all around very, very solid. And to me, Jared Goff has been really underperforming. So to me, it doesn't matter if Jared Goff is in there or John Wolford. I think John Wolford will get the job done. He is a mobile quarterback, and I think he'll do just enough to get them over the hump. This defense will stifle Kyler Murray, and I think that the Rams will improve to 10-6, and they'll get that 6th seed, which means that the Chicago Bears are making the playoffs at number 7. They'll be at 8-8 to me, and that means Arizona will also be at 8-8, and Chicago has a tiebreaker. So that means that your top 7 will look like this: number 1, Green Bay; Number 2, New Orleans. Number 3, Seattle. Number 4, Washington. Number 5, Tampa Bay. Number 6, LA. Number 7, Chicago. Just everything stays put to me. And I think that's really how it will go. And looking at the AFC, it's a much harder one to predict. What a season it's been for the AFC, by the way. Just great teams all around. We can have, right now there are a crazy fight here. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 5 teams at 10-5. You can have 11-5 teams not getting it. I mean, it's crazy, man. As a Dolphins fan too, I'm shocked. Number 1, that the Dolphins got this far. I'm happy, but I'm surprised. And number 2, that teams can go to 11-5 and not make it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. The last time I remember that happened was the Patriots when they didn't make the playoffs, like 12 years ago. But looking at the AFC playoff picture, we got number 1 Kansas City. They locked it up at 14-1, and yeah, they're pretty much locked up at the number 1 seed. Number 2, Buffalo at 12-3. Number 3, Pittsburgh right behind their tail at 12-3 as well, but Buffalo has a tiebreaker. Number 4, Tennessee at 10-5 has a tiebreaker over Indy, also at 10-5. The number 5 seed, Miami Dolphins at 10-5. They had the tiebreaker over all the other playoff teams in the wild card. Number 6, Baltimore, also at 10-5, and they have the tiebreaker over Cleveland. Cleveland is also at 10-5, and number 8, as I said, Indianapolis is also at 10-5. Yeah, there's a lot of 10-5 teams here. So going over these games, in week 17, we got Kansas City against their, obviously it's all divisional opponents, but they've got their game against divisional opponent LA Chargers and Justin Herbert. I think Kansas City will pull it out. It may probably be close based on how all their other games go, but Kansas City will win. Buffalo against Miami. Oh, man. This is going to be a tough one. It's the toughest game of the week. Every analysis in ESPN, whatever channel you flip to, this is the game they're talking about because it's such a tough game to call. And, of course, you know me. I'm a Dolphins fan. I got to go with my Dolphins, man. They're going to pull it out. And right now, I don't know why. It's so frustrating, but Bills coach Sean McDermott has not labeled any status for this game. I don't know whether Josh Allen and the starters are playing, if they're only going to play half of the game, or they're not playing at all. I have no clue. I would think that it would be probably 2 to 3 quarters, but I think that Miami has a chip on their shoulder. They'll get the job done. I don't know why people are calling Buffalo to win. Miami's going to get the job done, and Tua's going to come out and get a huge win and bring Miami into the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. It's going to be great. Number 6, Baltimore, they're playing at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's had a nice past couple weeks scoring on Pittsburgh and Houston, and they played pretty well relatively, but they're no match for the Baltimore Ravens, and Baltimore Ravens have their playoff lives on the line. They're going to get it done. Baltimore is going to win, and they're going to improve to 11-5, and another huge game here, Pittsburgh at Cleveland. It's going to be a tough game. I really want to pick Pittsburgh, and I would have felt a lot nicer knowing that Ben Roethlisberger was there. Kind of funny to say that. Terrell Edmonds and Joe Hayden are also out. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're resting a couple players. And I know everyone wants to pick the Browns to win, but give me Pittsburgh here. You know, everybody's counting out Pittsburgh. I think Mason Rudolph's gonna figure it out. He's gonna get a huge win. It's gonna be great to watch for Pittsburgh Steelers fans, and complete despair for Browns fans. That may be another reason, you know, just be a little crazy to see Browns fans have another sad moment and unfortunate moment where they don't make the playoffs. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to beat the Browns, and they're going to improve to 13-3, which means that Cleveland will fall to 10-6, and I think that Indianapolis will win. They're going to handle the Jaguars pretty comfortably. And I think that the Colts will improve to 11-5, which means that the playoff picture will shape something like this. Number 1, Kansas City. Number 2, Buffalo. Number 3, Pittsburgh. Oh, sorry. No, I was wrong there. Number 1, Kansas City. I think Pittsburgh steals the number 2 seed over Buffalo. And obviously, unlike the consensus pick, I'm picking Pittsburgh, which means that number 2 Pittsburgh at 13-3, number 3 Buffalo, they slide to number 3 at 12-4. Tennessee remains at number 4 at 11-5. Miami retains the number 5 seed at 11-5. Baltimore improves to 11-5 and they get the number 16. And the Indianapolis Colts sneak in at number 7 over the Browns. Indianapolis will finish at 11-5, while the Browns will be the odd one out at 10-6. Poor Cleveland, but sorry, only one team had to go, and I'm picking it to be Cleveland. I got my Dolphins in, and those are my playoff picture teams entering the playoffs after Week 17 to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Tell me which teams you think are going to be left out in both the AFC and NFC. It's going to be a great Sunday coming out tomorrow. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to HB Sports for more NFL and content from other sports.